Yeah, good morning, everyone, and I hope you had a blissful night, restful night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. So why are we here? This is the big question. I need to illuminate your minds why we are gathered here in this unique conference, which I always refer to as a conference of hope. Why are we here? Your Royal Highnesses and kings, queens from all the corners of Africa, our mother continent, our dear continent, and our beautiful faces, brothers and sisters from the diaspora who've joined us. We are very grateful for that. We want to thank God that it made it possible for them to come also. For those who were late, who could not be at the opening yesterday, to have been here last night. I have, the faces must have changed. You must have seen that there are many more faces today. And we are just amongst ourselves more of the time. And I would want you to be able to free yourself and talk your minds today, so that by the end of the day, we are all much more together. Your Excellencies, Your Excellency Dr. Commissioner Rita, sitting in, representing the African Union here, all princesses of Africa, the mother continent and our diaspora, distinguished guests, delegates in your various capacities, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great joy and special honor to welcome you this morning to our very long-awaited coming together in this form as the inheritors of Africa's indigenous, indomitable leaders who fearlessly confronted the external barbarism from Europe and the Middle East some 400 years ago. Although, owing to the sustained raw brutality, savagery, trickery, and ruse perpetrated by these invaders, our unforgettable grandparents did, in the end, succumb. We, their proud sons and daughters, today do rise to pronounce a resolute and defiant no to defeatism or submission. We, the proud grandchildren of Aspetia, Sankamaneska, Sundiata Keita, Zinga Bande, Toussaint Louverture, Almami Samori Touré, Behanzin and Amina, and you have many more of the rest in your minds that you know, in whose veins the royal blood continues to run, do solemnly call on Africa to rise in the new renaissance of our continent, Africa. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the answer to anyone amongst us here who may have been wondering why we are here in the capital city of the Kingdom of Eswatini. You are very warmly welcome indeed. The African Indigenous Governance Council that I represent has for a long time held the conviction that Africa's traditional values must not be lost with the hurried imitation and adoption of Western ways of life. We know and believe that very appropriate and sophisticated methods of running nations developed over thousands of years existed in Africa, but were deliberately swept aside to be forcefully replaced by alien Western models that we witness today. That's, surely you know, is a failure today. Half a century of observation shows how poorly we as a continent have fared in the way we run our societies. As elders in our societies, we offer to complement our leaders' efforts on the many matters they carry tremendous responsibility as a sign that we aren't mere onlookers in the affairs of our nations. We are seeking to breach what was in our days of our parents before colonialism and what it's ongoing now post-colonialism. This conference was convened for us traditional leaders together to reflect on how the above role may be played in the future, bridging the two systems together. We designed it along the lines of the new African Renaissance Colloquium that I recently held in Dakar last June, which brought together several kings, queens, academia, and government representatives to explore ways to lead Africa to new heights in governance, cultural renewal, and ethical reinvigoration. Our task here this time is manifold. First, we want to discuss and agree on the exact contribution we as revered elders in our communities and nations believe can make us an added value to the work currently being done by the modern leadership. Secondly, we shall design a declaration which represents our united voice as traditional leaders of Africa, stating how our societies lived prior to the intrusion by alien savages, the destructive experience we underwent under colonial rule, and what we are living presently with the governance challenges faced by African nations. Against that background, ladies and gentlemen, against that background, we shall come up with conclusions and recommendations of how to enhance effectiveness in governance, bring about political predictability, reduce social and economic hardships, and generate peace and development, objectives all current leaders seek to realize. I cannot conclude without reiterating on your behalf our deepest gratitude to His Highness King Eswatini III of Eswatini Kingdom for his and his people's warm welcome, exemplary African traditional hospitality and generosity by hosting this first of the kind conference here in Eswatini. In the same vein, for many that might have not known in advance, we owe special indebtedness to His Royal Majesty for having graciously accepted to be the bearer of our voice and message to the African Union Summit, where out of the 54 heads of state in Africa, he is one of the only two monarchs that holds it. I cannot reiterate this more, We have said a lot yesterday, calling on our brother, the monarch, the king of Eswatini, to please bear the mantle of African traditional voices through the African traditional leaders that we are, to voice at the rostrum of the African Union our preoccupations and what we think should be a complement in terms of governance of the community that we lead below as kings and queens. We are therefore engaging in a formidable task to deserve the trust and service the king is leaving us to take advantage of over the 2 days of deliberations ahead. The program is clear on the themes and the methodology to be followed in our work. Thematic divisions were established, speakers and facilitators indicated, as well as time allocated for the work per unit. I will count on the contribution of each and everyone in your own way as best as you can. And I want to call on the attention that it's a purely traditional gathering, and so let us be able to show our the diverse traditional ways that we have. I would expect that when we come for the meeting, or when we always are together, or we go out, we should be seen in our traditional regalia. That is the beauty of tradition that we've come to show, and that we are already witnessing on the bodies of our brothers and sisters of here in Eswatini. Once again, Your Royal Highnesses, Dr. Lita, all distinguished delegates, welcome to this unique event, and have a rich, fruitful, and enjoyable time together in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me your ears.